Welcome to the 6 months results video, where we will find out which UFC prediction channels on YouTube are the most accurate and profitable with their picks overall, but also for their picks on favorites and underdog fighters in odds. We have a lot to go through, so let's get started. Over the last 6 months there were a total of 264 fights, with 1 draw and 1 no contest. And over that period I tracked predictions from 163 channels and they made a total of 27,394 predictions. So on average 168.1 per channel. The total correct predictions was 17,343. So on average 63.3% of all predictions were correct. And 10,051 predictions were incorrect for 36.7%. Which UFC prediction channels are the most and least accurate over the last 6 months with picking winners? For the next results, we will only look at channels that made a minimum of 120 predictions. So 20 predictions per month. At number 10, for the least accurate channel for picking winners, we have A-Side MMA. He made 169 picks and 99 were correct for 58.58%. At number 9 is MMA Bet Fiber with a correct pick percentage of 58.54%. Shy Gut Picks is at number 8 with 58.48%. Number 7 is Cody from Bookie Beatdown with 58.06%. And with 58.04% we have Sean from the Running Mouth MMA show. The Finch Jets is at number 5 with 56.32%. In 4th place we have Baby Sharp MMA with 55.65%. Brandon from the Santino DeFranco podcast is in 3rd place with 55.63%, who previously was one of the best predictors overall. So he's having a rough start for 2025. In 2nd place we have Eagle MMA with a correct pick percentage of 54.3%. And the channel who is the least accurate so far with picking winners is Sun Tzu Tips. He had 87 out of 161 picks correct for a correct pick percentage of 54.04%. And what's amazing, he was still profitable with his picks, and he's not the only one in this top 10, although most of them are losing money. So having a low correct pick percentage doesn't mean you can't be profitable. Which prediction channels are the best at picking the winner so far in 2025? At number 10 we have Slim MMA with 168 out of 248 predictions correct for 67.74%. With 67.83% we have Hopero MMA at number 9. UFC Gambling Addicts is at number 8 with 68%. At number 7 with 68.16% we have JP from Lockdoor MMA. Left Lane MMA is at number 6 with 68.32%. MMA Husky Hustler is at number 5 with 68.54%. In 4th place with 69.23% we have MMA Eagle. MMA Data Guy is in 3rd place with 70.04%. In 2nd place we have Squeaky Puff with a correct pick percentage of 71.51%. And in 1st place with 86 out of 120 picks correct we have Smo for a correct pick percentage of 71.67%. So congratulations to Smo and the rest of the top 10 for being the most accurate predictors over the last 6 months. Links to all of these channels can be found in the video description. And here is the overview of all 163 channels that I've tracked, including those that made less than 120 predictions, with their correct and total predictions and the correct prediction percentage. For the next part of least and most profitable channels, we will again only look at channels that made a minimum of 120 predictions over the last 6 months. All of their picks counts, regardless of the confidence levels or the odds preference. We place a $100 moneyline bet on each pick, and to calculate the results we use the odds from the tail of the tape. And the rankings are based on the return on investment percentage. Which channels could have lost you the most money if you blindly followed all of their picks? At number 10 we have Eagle MMA with a loss of $1,846 over their 186 picks, which gives you a return on investment of minus 9.93%. With a minus 10% return on investment we have Giuliano Argentini MMA at number 9. The True Analyst is at number 8 with minus 10.42%. And with a slightly worse return on investment we have the Finch Jets at number 7 with 10.59%. With minus 11.4% we have DFS by the numbers at number 6. In 5th place is John Kelly DFS with minus 11.68%. With minus 11.88% ROI we have Baby Sharp MMA at number 4. In 3rd place is Keith Schillen from SureDuck.com with a return on investment of minus 12.51. With minus 12.87%, we have Brandon from the Santino DeFranco podcast at number 2. And in first place, the least profitable channel over the first 6 months of 2025 was Shy Got Picks, with a return on investment of minus 14.11% over his 224 picks. Which channels were the most profitable with their picks over the first 6 months of 2025? At number 10, we have A-Side MMA, the channel that was also number 10 for least correct picks, with a profit of $279 over his 169 predictions for a return on investment of 1.65%. JP from Locked Door MMA had a return on investment of 2.28%. At number 8, we have Uncle Weezy with a return on investment of 2.4%. UFC Gambling Addicts is in 7th place with 3.24% ROI. In 6th place is Benny P MMA with a return on investment of almost 5%. In 5th place we have Bedtime MMA with an ROI of 5.4%. In 4th place is Lucas Tracy MMA with a return on investment of 7.77%. In 3rd place we have Squeaky Puff with 7.82% ROI. And with a return on investment of 8.53%, we have Just Win Baby MMA in 2nd place. And in 1st place, the channel who could have won you the most money if you had blindly followed all of their picks over the last 6 months, we have Schmo, not to be confused with The Schmo, with a profit of $1,409 over his 120 picks for a return on investment of 11.74%. So, congratulations to Schmo and the rest of the top 10 for being the most profitable predictors. Links to all of these channels can be found in the video description. And here is the overview of all 163 channels that I tracked this year so far, which also includes channels that made less than 120 predictions, with their profit or loss, their return on investment, correct picks, total picks and correct pick percentage, and their total investment. Which channels are the most and least accurate with picking winners on favorite fighters in odds? For the following results, I only showed channels that made a minimum of 80 picks on fighters that were the favorite in odds. At number 6 to 10, we have the following 5 channels. At number 5, we have Brandon from the Santino DeFranco podcast with a correct pick percentage of 66.32. John Kelly, DFS, is in 4th place with 66.12% correct. Shy Got Picks is in 3rd place with almost 65%. In 2nd place is Sun Tzu Tips. He had a correct pick percentage of 62.5%. And in 1st place for least accurate channel when picking favorite fighters in odds is Parlay Princess. He had 55 out of 89 picks correct for a correct pick percentage of 61.8%. For the most accurate channels with their picks on favorite fighters in odds only, we have the following 5 channels placed number 6 to 10. Opening up top 5, we have Saulo with a correct pick percentage of 74.11%. In 4th place is The Bodag Show with 74.29%. In 3rd place we have Bedtime MMA with a correct pick percentage of 74.8%. In 2nd place we have Squeaky Puff with a correct pick percentage of 75%. And in 1st place, the channel who was the most accurate over the first 6 months of 2025 with their picks on favorite fighters in odds, we have Lucas Tracy MMA. He had 95 out of 126 picks correct for 75.4%. So, congratulations to Lucas Tracy MMA and the rest of the top 10 for having the highest correct pick percentage on favorite fighters. And here is the overview of all 136 channels with their picks on favorite fighters only, including channels that made less than 80 picks. For the least and most profitable channels with their picks on favorite fighters in odds only, the same rules apply that basically all picks count, and we only show results of channels that made a minimum of 80 picks. And this is the top 10 of the least profitable channels with their picks on favorite fighters in odds only. Now which ones were the most profitable? From number 10 to 6 we have the following 5 channels. And what's interesting is that number 10, Brevin from Locked Door MMA, didn't even make a profit and he had a loss of 26 cents, which is rounded up to $0. So it already looks kind of hard to make money on favorites. In 5th place we have Just Win Baby MMA with a profit of $113 for a return on investment of 1.35%. In 4th place is Lucas Tracy MMA with 2.21%. Bedtime MMA is in 3rd place with a return on investment of 2.3%. In 2nd place is The Bodag Show with a 2.87 ROI. And in 1st place we have Squeaky Puff. He made a return on investment of 3.3% over his 148 picks on favorite fighters in odds for a profit of $488. So congratulations to Squeaky Puff being the most profitable predictor on favorite fighters in odds. A link to his channel and the rest of the top 9, because number 10 was not profitable, can be found in the video description. And here is the complete overview of all channels that made picks on favorite fighters in odds, including channels that made less than 80 picks, with their money won or loss, ROI, correct picks, total picks, correct pick percentage, and their investment. There clearly isn't much money to be made on favorite fighters in odds, as you could see from the previous part. So that must mean most of the money is made by finding good betting opportunities on underdogs. And for the next part, we will only include channels that made a minimum of 40 predictions. So let's find out which channels are the best at picking winning underdogs. Which the following 10 channels are not, because they are the least accurate channels with their picks on underdog fighters, ranging from 36% correct to 31% for the number 1 least accurate. The most accurate channels for picking underdog winners, we have from number 4 till number 10 the following 7 channels, with a correct pick percentage ranging from around 49% till 47%. Sharing third place, we have the following 3 channels: Just Win Baby MMA, Slim MMA and UFC Gambling Addict. All 3 of them had a correct pick percentage of 50%, and all 3 of them should have had the same size of profile picture, but I messed up. In second place we have Uncle Weezy. He had 28 out of 53 underdog picks correct for a 52.83% correct pick percentage. But the most accurate channels with underdog picks over the first 6 months of 2025 was Haparo MMA, with a correct pick percentage of 54.35% over his 46 underdog picks. So congratulations to Haparo MMA and the rest of the top 10 for being the most accurate underdog predictors for the first 6 months of 2025. And as always, a link to all of them can be found in the video description. And here is the overview of all channels that made picks on underdogs, also including channels that made less than 40 underdog picks. And for the last part, we will look at which channels are the least and most profitable with their picks on underdogs only. To calculate the results, we use the same rules as before and have a minimum of 40 picks. The following 10 channels are the least profitable with their underdog picks, with a return on investment of minus 8.5% for number 10 up to almost minus 23% for number 1. From number 6 till number 10 for the most profitable predictors for underdog picks, we have the following 5 channels with a return on investment ranging from almost 21% up to 24.3%. At number 5 we have JP Bet Journal. He had a return on investment of 25.22%. In fourth place is Just Win Baby MMA with 25.48% ROI. Benny P MMA is in third place. He had a return on investment of 26.75%. With almost 2% more, we have Haparo MMA in second place, with a return on investment of 28.48%. And in first place, the channel who's the most profitable with picking winning underdog fighters, we have Uncle Weezy, with a return on investment of almost 5% higher for 33.3%. And a profit of $1,765 over his 53 underdog picks. So congratulations to Uncle Weezy and the rest of the top 10 for being the most profitable underdog predictors for the first 6 months of 2025. Links to all of these channels can be found in the video description. And here is the overview of all 163 channels that made picks on underdogs, including channels that made less than 40 picks. So, what do we learn from these results? Most of the profits that these channels make can be found with good underdog betting opportunities. So try to pay close attention when one of these best underdog predictors are picking underdog fighters. And hopefully you gain some sweet, delicious profits. I hope you enjoyed the results video for the first 6 months of 2025 and found it informative or helpful. If you did, then don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.